Okay, Doomer, want to know how to prevent and even reverse climate change in just 6 easy steps? Doctors hate him for figuring out this secret. You don't have to trust me on this, but you should put your trust into the more than 11,000 climate scientists who signed on to this paper that was published in the journal Bioscience in January 2020. Here's what they say we should do to have any chance at staying below 2 degrees of warming. Number 1, energy, specifically leaving all remaining reserves of fossil fuels in the ground from here on out, and ending the billions in government subsidies that go to the fossil fuel industry every single year. Instead, investing that money into renewable energy, energy efficiency, and conservation practices, basically electrifying the entire economy, and using money to help the majority world fund their transition to renewables. Number 2, legislating measures to reduce or ban GHGs like methane, soot, and hydrofluorocarbons. These have a big impact to the greenhouse effect, but linger in the atmosphere for a shorter time than CO2, meaning this could be a saving grace that slows warming over the short term, buying us some time while increasing crop yields and saving lives due to reduced pollution. Number 3, this one's my favorite. Nature-based solutions like restoring ecosystems is so important, and preventing biodiversity loss makes ecosystems more resilient to change in the face of impending climate disaster. We can also get a third of the way to the 2030 Paris targets simply through carbon sequestration. We're talking about reforestation, planting new forests, and agroforestry, especially on croplands. That's really important, which brings us to our next one. Number 4, some of y'all ain't gonna like this, but we have to move towards a mostly plant-based diet and an organic food system. Specifically, reducing the number of cows and other ruminants is going to be key for reducing methane for that short-term lifeline. This is also going to free up tons of land that's currently used for factory farming and crops for animal consumption to become crops for our consumption, and land that can be used for carbon sequestration that I just mentioned. We also need to restore organic matter in the soil through low-till farming, native animal grazing, and eliminating petrochemical fertilizers and pesticides like Roundup. Number 5, economy. They don't outright call for eco-socialism like I do, but certainly for a degrowth-based mentality and not measuring economic success as GDP line go up. They say we should end the excessive extraction of materials and the overexploitation of the natural world, and measure economic success by how well we meet our irreducible minimum and how much inequality is being reduced. Last is population. This one I have a bit of an allergic reaction to, and let's talk about why. Earlier in the paper, they point to overconsumption by the wealthiest among us and overproduction by the wealthiest countries as the reason why GHG emissions are so high in the first place. So they're very clear about who's at fault. So given that they call for quality of life improvements like universal healthcare and education as a way to stabilize population growth, I interpret this as more of a note that we can't expect the planet to withstand an ever-growing population if everyone's to live like affluent Americans in a capitalist system. So this is what the best scientists in the world agree we have to do. Go and read the paper. It'll take you half an hour, and share these solutions. It's not too late, but we have to start organizing within our communities and getting everyone on board with these systemic changes and living the revolution. We can do all of this right now.